speaking of both strikers, can't make a mistake. Kevin Holland gets Stephen Thompson on the ground. Maybe didn't really, it was just kind of like a random scramble. Lets him up after getting pieced up. Not the smartest move, but Kevin Holland wanted to give the fans what they wanted in the striking battle, and they said it all week. We're striking. But in those moments,
yeah,
you gotta fucking take advantage of them.
Dude, at 170 pounds, I mean, Stephen Thompson would be one of the hardest motherfuckers to fight, dude.
Yeah.
The way he counterpunches and he doesn't load up at all. But I'm surprised. Has he ever fought someone who's like a heavy leg kicker? Because the way he stands completely sideways in that stance, I'm like, goddamn.
But dude, the way he throws that front kick to the body, it's like he's so light on that foot. You go to throw a leg kick, you're off balance. You're getting kicked in the chest.
Yeah, or he's stroking you with that straight down the pipe.
O'Malley can see the sportsmanship in agreeing to make it a stand-up battle and then sticking with it. But he feels it did not play to the advantage of Holland. He spoke about this on his YouTube channel. O'Malley believes that Holland didn't really have a plan coming into the fight. Thompson is a savvy veteran that has been in 2 title fights over his 10 years in the UFC. He is a difficult opponent to prepare for with his karate style, and O'Malley thinks Holland lacked in preparation. Yeah, I know when he landed that first left hand against Kevin Holland. That made me think, I'm like, dude, Kevin Holland kind of came in there, not really necessarily game plan. And Stephen Thompson is so high level at the strikes there, I was like, O'Malley said. O'Malley was so impressed with Thompson's striking style that he said when he gets back into camp, he will re-watch that fight to gain some pointers.
I don't mind seeing guys like, Paddy do well, especially when there's so much hype and, you bring in a lot of eyes to the sport and got a lot of respect for that. So he's still young too, right? He's still young. I respect him in the fact that, he doesn't want to rush into the biggest challenges straight away. He's still young, he's still learning, earning his way, earning his money, building that hype up at the same time. I think he's doing it right, so good on him. I feel like this is a bit of a step up in competition too. I don't feel like Jared Gordon is a walkover at all. Obviously, he's got some jiu-jitsu, and he's not that bad on the feet either. So it's going to be interesting. It will be an interesting fight. Whether we'll see some pretty good scrambles on the mat, we'll see. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett's pretty dangerous on the ground, and he knows how to find submissions. He's pretty crafty like that. Not that it means so much, but I mean, when you've got when you've trained under guys like, your Danaher squad and all that, you train with a lot of guys. There's going to be a lot of crafty guys throwing things at you, so you're going to be a little aware of that type of stuff. So you're going to know how to move on the ground.
UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski has liked what he's seen so far from lightweight Paddy Pimblett's UFC career. During a recent video on his YouTube channel, Volkanovski revealed what he respects the most about Pimblett. He's still young. I respect him with the fact that he doesn't want to rush into the biggest challenges straight away. Volkanovski said, Pimblett earned a first-round knockout against Luigi Vendramini in his debut, followed by back-to-back submissions. He's won 5 consecutive fights overall. Volkanovski could be on a collision course with Pimblett at some point, but there seems to be nothing but respect from the UFC's pound-for-pound best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I can't miss a weight in one division and come back and fight for the title right away. It'd be like he's incredible fight, but he gotta work his way up there, And we see, he gotta put the work, I know the talk helps to get there, but the way I see, go there and do the work, man. You cannot just come from 170, jump in. He's not a champion 170 or anything, He don't get to fight for the title. This is the way I see it. To me, to get the title, I don't talk too much, but I gotta work my ass off. So he gotta put the work in there and get to Alex. But they want to fight. I don't know. That's the manager. That's the UFC. And Alex, he don't want to deal with Alex power, man. He fought Durinho, was a very powerful man, but Alex is a different beast.
Glover Teixeira recently shared his opinion on a potential Khamzat Chimaev versus Alex Pereira fight. According to the former light heavyweight champion, the Chechen-born Swede shouldn't be allowed to skip the line as he needs to work his way up to Pereira. The two Brazilians can be seen regularly training together and certainly have a lot to offer to each other in different aspects of the sport. Unsurprisingly, Teixeira cornered Poatan during his fight against Adesanya. Soon after his title victory, Poatan found himself being called out by Khamzat. However, Teixeira is not convinced. The 43-year-old recently stated in an interview with Helwani that Boers hasn't earned his shot at Pereira yet. Breaking: Dana White reveals likely opponent for Conor McGregor's return. Conor McGregor will likely face Iron Michael Chandler on his return to the UFC octagon, according to Dana White. In an interview with Brett Okamoto of ESPN MMA, the UFC president reportedly confirmed that McGregor will not be retiring anytime soon, and that the Irishman still sees himself actively competing in the sport after his horrible leg fracture at UFC 264. A producer at ESPN, Charlie Moynihan, broke the news first, tweeting out, "And the notorious next fight is likely against Mike Chandler." While the full interview has not been officially released yet, the tweet basically confirmed what a lot of mixed martial arts fans already suspected. There was little chance of the UFC's biggest superstar ignoring someone with hype like Chandler. Now it's time for our take. Is Paddy the Baddy right about Ariel Helwani, or is he just kissing up to Dana? Helwani, who's widely considered one of the leading media voices in mixed martial arts, having covered the sport for well over a decade, has become a somewhat polarizing figure. While many appreciate his coverage and interviews with fighters, he's had his fair share of fallouts. Notably, that included a fractured relationship with White, whose feelings for Helwani have long been public knowledge. Now, the UFC chief has come together to share his disgust for the 40-year-old journalist with one of the most notable fighters on his roster. Paddy the Baddy, trying to get some points with the boss, labeled Helwani a rodent and maggot who uses fighters to line his own pockets. The Liverpudlian also appeared to suggest that the reporter should be paying fighters for appearances on the MMA Hour and other interviews. As we mentioned earlier, Helwani is literally one of the biggest voices in the mixed martial arts world, if not the biggest. Why would he have to pay the fighters, signed to Dana by the way, to have them on his show? We at MMA Gold News believe UFC 282 is dead in the water, and there is an opportunity to create chaos and generate more interest in Paddy and the event. And that's what Dana White, who is a brilliant marketing strategist, is doing. What's your take on this Paddy Pimblett Ariel Helwani, and of course, Dana White beef? Let us know in the comments, and thank you for listening to another edition of Our Take. Paulo Costa shares USADA stat involving Jon Jones. UFC middleweight Paulo Costa is throwing some shade at the USADA testing system in light of the discovery of a shocking number. Costa has often been teased by fans about his physique and has been accused of taking performance-enhancing drugs. He took these accusations and ran with them. He now carries around a jug with him labeled secret juice, to which he credits his gains. He took to Twitter to show just how often he is tested and put a comparison to Jon Jones, who has failed multiple tests in his career. Costa is the most tested athlete in the UFC at this time. The only others that come close to his or Jones' numbers are Misha Cirkunov at 84, TJ Dillashaw at 92, and Amanda Nunes at 77. Any fighter who consistently tests clean more than 50 times in their UFC career will receive a jacket from the USADA. Costa is now wondering where his jacket is. Leon Edwards ridicules Belal Muhammad for title shot request. UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards scoffed at Belal Muhammad's claim that he's set for the next title shot. Muhammad wants the next shot at the belt. After a no contest against Edwards in March 2021, he's on a 4-fight winning streak, including wins over Sean Brady and Vicente Luque. But Edwards doesn't feel Muhammad has done anything remotely close to earning a title shot. In a recent tweet, Muhammad alleged he signed off on a title shot against Edwards. "I signed, just waiting for Leon," Muhammad said. "Shut up, you bum, you ain't getting a title shot," Edwards replied. The next welterweight title fight could be announced in the coming weeks, and Muhammad wants consideration for the matchup. He may have to wait a bit longer as Edwards gets ready for a likely third fight with Usman. Should Muhammad get a title shot against Leon Edwards? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today's video. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.